Hi everyone, this is Selvi. Today's topic is what is capacity utilization, how to calculate it, and what are the advantages of calculating the capacity utilization. So, first of all, what is capacity utilization? As the name suggests, it is very simple. How much capacity has been utilized in a particular sprint? How to calculate it? We should know how much first initially it was there, then only we can say in the available how much it was actually utilized, right? So there are two parameters that are going to be used for calculating this capacity utilization. One is available capacity in the team, and the second one is what is the committed capacity for a sprint. Again, this particular calculation usually takes care at the end of every sprint. So for a particular sprint, what is the available capacity of the team and how much capacity has been committed? These two parameters we are going to use. So now let's try to understand what is available, what is committed. We need to understand that. We have already discussed in one of our episode about capacity planning, but I am going to talk in a very nutshell way. What are the things that we have covered there and how to calculate this? First of all, how to calculate the available capacity of the team. Let's consider a team has 5 to 6 people. First, we need to understand how many holidays we have during the sprint period. Directly, let's omit this hours. Second one, out of these people who are available in the team, how many people are 100% available, how many people are 50% available, we need to understand. Because their availability with the team itself is 50% means we cannot plan their entire day for the team, right? So we need to be clear about how much participation they are going to give for this team. And the third one is we need to get the details from individuals, like what is their vacation plan, how many days they are on leave, and how many days they are on training. These details we need to collect. From this detail, we will be able to understand how many hours they are available. So even though I say that I am available complete 10 days, will I be able to completely invest all my 8 days or 10 days, whatever I am available with for the sprint execution? No. Why? Because sprint execution will take some hours, but we have scrum events. There are some meetings like backlog refinement, daily stand up, review meeting, retrospective meeting, sprint planning meeting. All these things are also going to consume some time from my side, and I may have some other project meetings, technical discussions. So I cannot completely focus on all the available hours that I have planned. So this available itself is actually the whole available period from my end. But what is actual available from my end, I need to calculate with the help of focus factor. When I say I here, it is a team. So as a scrum master, you should first understand what is the focus factor for your team, whether it is 90 percentage or 80 percentage or 70 percentage. The recommended thing is always start with lower number. What is this focus factor? Now, let's say for one person I'm explaining so that it is very easy. Let's say I am a team member. I am completely available for 100 hours. Okay. And now in those 100 hours, as a focus factor, we have set it as 70 percentage. That means only 70 hours I am actually available for the sprint. Remaining 30 hours, it's for other meetings and all those things. Let's not worry about all those things. We no need to prepare that list. But what we need to prepare here is the focus factor. So whether this focus factor is going to be constant? No, it will not be constant. It will be keep changing. Why it will be changing? The reason is when your team is new, you have many other meetings. You may have some kind of high level roadmap discussion from your product management. You may need to attend some high level estimation meeting or some kind of uh, integration with other teams, other products. Those meetings as a team we need to attend. So the investment of time from every team member is more during the initial phase. when team gets settled down, it is going to be more and more focus. And we also know, and scrum master's main responsibility is to help team to focus on the work which is related to the sprint, and help team members not to deviate, and protect the team members from some external work that is coming. So first, for scrum master to support on all these things and do some kind of like measures from his or her side, they also need to understand what are the challenges that is coming, right? So till that time, it is always good to set the value with like 70 percentage or 75 percentage, and slowly try to understand, are we actually that 30 hours in my example, as I mentioned, I had 100 hours. In that, only 70 hours we are planning as available hours. Remaining 30, we feel that we have other work to manage, like meetings and other discussions. So we need to understand as a pattern for every team member whether this 30 hours is required. No, team members have good amount of time. That's what we are able to see. That's what our reports are mentioning. So what we can do, we can always, I will tell you at the end during the calculation part and the advantages part as well, how to understand the focus factor can be increased as well. So we can increase from 70 to 80. We need to learn from the pattern. Again, I'm mentioning it's not from one sprint. Always observe what your metrics are telling, observe what your reports are telling, and understand the trend, what is happening. Then take a call, take an action item. Do not get into any conclusion from one sprint, right? So now, coming back to this topic, so we know how to calculate the available capacity. So always remember, available capacity means not the hours that you have at your end. It's not the one. What is actually the available capacity? Available capacity, what is with the focus factor. You may have 200 hours at your end, but how much you have, you are able to focus for this sprint execution, that is called as the actual available hours, right? So I explained available hours in detail because you should not get into any confusion at any time. Focus factor plays a major role, and as a scrum master, you should know when to change the focus factor. Bring this topic in your retrospective with relevant information, and then increase or decrease. Do not do without that. So this is one of the action item that scrum master can pick it up as part of the retrospective meeting related to focus factor. So we now know how to calculate the available hours. Now in the available hours, how many hours we are actually planning for the sprint work items? When I say sprint work items, how many hours that are getting committed for the sprint activities? That is called as committed hours for the sprint. So as I mentioned, we are going to use two parameters to calculate capacity utilization. First one, we understood, it is called as the available hours for the sprint. And the second one is committed hours for the sprint. When I say committed hours for the sprint, for the task that we are going to work on the sprint backlog items, how many hours we have committed. All right. So now we have these two parameters. Now, how to calculate capacity utilization? Capacity utilization is equal to committed hours in the sprint divided by available hours for the sprint. So, say for example, for a team, it is 400 hours. Total available hours is 400. How to get that for a team? Sum up all the available hours of the individuals, you will get the team hours. Available hours. So now 400 hours. In that 400 hours, the committed hours is only 200, which means 200 divided by 400 into 100 for percentage. That means it is 50%. So capacity utilization is 50%. Now let me quickly recap on the topics. We should not get confused about this topic. First of all, capacity utilization means the capacity that got utilized from the available capacity. So to calculate this, the formula is very simple. Committed hours in the sprint divided by available hours for the sprint into 100. So two parameters we need. One is committed hours in the sprint, and the second one is what is the available hours. How to get the committed hours? go to all the backlog items in the sprint, all the task, in the sprint backlog items, we will be adding something called as planned hours or estimated hours. That is called as committed hours. Sum up everything for all the tasks. We should understand, do not count the story points, because story point you will be giving for the parent level item, that is the user story. Where you will give the hours, you will be giving at the task level. We have uh, already shared an episode related to what is the best estimation method to give, whether story points or hours. Please refer that if you have confusion why we are giving both. Now, every task on the sprint planning time, what we will be doing, we will be doing an activity called as task breakdown. We will create all the tasks and we will add all the planned or estimated hours for the task. Now, sum up all these hours. We may have 100 tasks or 200 tasks, it doesn't matter. Sum up all the planned or estimated hours. For example, it is coming to 200. One parameter is done. What is the second parameter which is in the denominator? That is available hours. When we will be preparing this? As part of our capacity planning before the sprint even start. What we will be doing? We will be collecting details from every individual, like how many days they are available, because they may have some leave plan and training plan. So how many days they are available, and how many holidays in general we have in the sprint. Based on that, we will collect the details, and from that hours whatever we have collected, put a focus factor. Focus factor can be 70% or 80% or 90%, whatever it may be. This focus factor is not a static value. It will be keep changing, but not frequently. It may be changing based on the learning we have received from the reports as well from the different metrics. We can change after the discussion with the team as part of the retrospective meeting. So that is actually the available hours. For example, I'm telling for a person, and then I'll say how to calculate for the team as well. For a person, like for me, I have 100 hours in my hand as available, but focus factor for the team is set as 70%. That means in that 100 hours, only 70 is meant for my available hours for the sprint. Similarly, calculate for every individual, sum it up, and you will get the available hours for the team. That is now 400. So we have 200 divided by 400 into 100, that is equal to 50%. Now 50% is called as the capacity utilization of the team for this particular sprint. Awesome. Now we have covered first two sections of the question. Third section is, why are we even calculating this? What is the advantage of this? When I say 50%, what it tells? We have 100%, but we only utilized half. But team was working till the end, and whatever we have committed, we have achieved, and maybe one or two spillovers also happened. Then what it shows? It shows that task breakdown is not performed correctly, or we have not updated all the tasks and all the planned or estimated hours. Why so? Because we are working till the end of the day and we have some spillover as well, but whatever we have utilized the capacity is half of the capacity. Then what we were doing with the remaining capacity? What is the problem? So the first option is, we have not even done task breakdown properly. We have just for adding some task, we have added few tasks and put some hours, or we have added some task but put some random hours and not actually putting the hours that we are looking as an estimate. That brings this kind of situation. Even though we were working till the last day and we were also unable to complete few stories, but still we say that we have only utilized 50% of the capacity. That cannot be possible, right? So now task breakdown is not done properly. So there is one action item. If this is keep on happening, always I'm saying, please look for and observe the pattern. Do not take any actions from one sprint report. Now, from this calculation as 50%, we understood that maybe we have not written all the tasks and put all the hours. That is one situation. Or we were not doing the task breakdown itself properly. That is the learning. So That is one thing we need to mention. What we need to do, we need to improve our task breakdown activity as part of our sprint planning. And the second one is, team is saying, no, we have added everything, but we have not estimated properly. We just thought 2 hours it will take, but it took a lot of time. We were unable to estimate in the right way. Maybe they are not so clear about the task what they need to do, or they don't know how much time it is going to take. So there is a learning for the team again. How we need to do that? We may need to improve our refinement so that we are clear what and all we need to do at the task level during the sprint as well. That level of clarity we should achieve as part of sprint planning and as part of refinement. Maybe some gaps, maybe we are making some assumptions, we don't know. So we need to improve that. That is the reason our estimations are not right, or our estimations are not so accurate. Maybe the reason may be the same. We don't know the estimation activity properly, or we have some assumptions. So these are the situations that we can learn from this value, like 50%, which is very much less than what actually we are expecting. So one is estimations are not done properly because we don't know the details clearly. And the second one is there are a lot of assumptions that we would have made. So our estimations have gone for a toss. And the third one is we are doing the work, but we are not doing the task breakdown activity in a proper way. We need to improve on that. So these are the learnings from the lowest value that we have observed in our capacity utilization. And again, to add a hint, always represent your capacity utilization value with the help of red, amber, and green color indications, so that it gives, always set some expectation. If it is from 0 to 50, it is not that great, means we have not utilized our things properly, we have not estimated properly, we have not done the task breakdown properly. Whereas if it is 50 to 70, we have utilized but not that great. 70 to 90, yes, of course we have achieved a good level. So this is how we need to put it in different sections, the values and the indications, so that it will be good for us in the learning. Now, for example, it is more than 100, what it says, but still we have not completed the work, or we just completed the work, whatever the conditions may be. But if it is more than 100, means we would have ideally pulled more work, right? We would have pulled something from the product backlog, because we are burning more and more effort from our side. But why it is not more? The reason is maybe we would have overestimated. That's the reason the numbers are high, the utilized hours also high, but the outcome is the same, that what we have expected, that have not gone more. But ideally, if it is more than 100%, we have done too much of work, we have burned so much of effort. That means we would have ideally pulled more work, or we would have ideally done something extra. But what have happened here? We have not done anything extra. Rather, we stick to our plan, the sprint goal, or we were unable to even complete the sprint goal. But still, we say that we have reached more than 100%. That means our estimation is not that great. We have overestimated. So this is one more learning if the value is beyond 100%. And another learning from this is why we have not considered this during our sprint planning. When we are doing the task breakdown, we know that how many available hours we have and why we have overcommitted. Because I have only 100 hours and I have already planned the work for 120 hours. Why I have done that? because I thought I will be able to manage it. That is also not that great because we are overcommitting. Then there are chances of spillover, or I have overestimated. There are two options. So this is also a learning from the value of capacity utilization. So when it is too low, the task breakdown is not done properly, or all the tasks are not added with the right effort for planned or estimated. What is the reason? Because team would have made some assumptions, so we need to improve our backlog refinement and sprint planning with more questions rather than putting some assumptions, or we are not doing the estimation properly, right? Because we are working till the last day, but only our capacity is utilized as 50%. Then remaining 50%, what we have worked, whether it is not captured or our estimation is not showing correct figures. So there can be two problems. So we need to fix that. Second one is, it is already crossed 100%. Like the capacity utilization is more than 100%. That means whatever we have estimated, that is already a overestimation. That may also happen because we are not so clear with the task. So safer side, we have added more hours, or maybe we are not so clear about the estimation of task itself. That is one problem. And another problem is, during task breakdown, why we have not thought about this, why there is also a situation we kind of like overcommitted with too many items. We thought that this may not take too much time and we would have overcommitted. That is also one reason. So this also, instead of 100%, we have already committed for 120%, but still we were unable to complete the task because we are already in overcommitted situation. So that also should be recovered. How to recover that? We need to think about how to improve our estimation activities, how to improve our task breakdown activities during the sprint planning, and ask more and more questions in the refinement and sprint planning, and not to have any kind of assumptions considerations. Always go with the clarity of information. These all are the information that we need to understand from this kind of calculation, that is capacity utilization. So we talked about what is capacity utilization, how to calculate it with the help of two parameters, that is committed hours in the sprint divided by available hours for the sprint. How to calculate available hours? Consider the focus factor. And how to calculate it? Committed hours divided by available hours into 100. So what the value is telling us, we need to understand whether it is too low or high, more than 100%. We need to understand from that value and plan our action items accordingly from the pattern that we have observed. This would have helped many of you in understanding about the capacity and how to understand certain things from the capacity utilization calculation. Thanks everyone for listening. Happy learning and stay tuned.